They come from all across the world, from many different lands. The brave from Britain, the confident from America, the determined from Japan, and anyone else, anywhere else, who wants to step up to the challenge. 100 challengers compete across a 4-stage obstacle course devised by the devil. Success means glory. Failure means humiliation. It truly is win or die. Many have tried. Very few have succeeded. But they all have one goal: to become the next champion. This is Ninja Warrior of Halo! Hello guys, I'm HuntUnit751 and welcome back to Ninja Warrior of Halo. So far in this 19th tournament, the first 25 challengers have stepped up to take on this redesigned first stage. Sadly, they've all been beaten, most of them on the first 3 obstacles, and the elite few that did make it past the pole maze were swept up by the new half-pipe attack and ever-deadly flying chute. It's still early days in this tournament, but it is clear this first stage is much tougher than the one we saw in the last tournament. So, with the first 25 challengers so ruthlessly wiped out, how will the next 25 fare? Will one of them be the first to beat stage 1? Let's head back to the start line, where the action continues. Kicking us off today, we have a newcomer with a very interesting game attack. This is Colin is a Potato. I think this might just be the first ever potato we've had take on the course. Let's see how he does. 9 obstacles to be completed in 130 seconds. Starting with the sextuple steps, 5 steps, 6 jumps to get to the other side. Colin's a big fan of the show and is really happy to be finally making his debut on this course. He's looking pretty good at the moment, not the fastest but not too slow either. And he joins a decently growing list of newcomers to get past the sextuple steps. They, however, have been having a lot of problems with this ball drop. Gotta ride the ball down the track, surviving the 2 drops along the way. Oh, and Colin falls before he even gets to the first drop. His debut run comes to an end early. Bad luck to Colin. But next up, we have Bromaniac35. Another newcomer, but this guy is also an established Halo racer. From both classic Halos, or classic Halo games, and also now on Halo 5 in the HRL, the Halo Racing League. He gets past the sextuple steps. Racers have had a very mixed bag of results down the years on this course, but Bromaniac, or Roman as we more commonly call him, has put in a lot of practice for this tournament, hoping to put on a good performance. I think in the history of the course, only one Halo racer, discounting Elite MKB, only one Halo racer has ever beaten stage 1. Roman is hoping to become the second. He's taking his time on this ball drop. He could have got off a lot earlier, but he plays it safe, and now is onto the pole maze. Gotta get up the pole and into the head slide. Throws himself into it. Oh, he almost made it, but he just came up short. Now he's got to go back. And this is where the time starts to come into play. This obstacle can eat up a lot of time if you don't get it right. Our newcomers have really been struggling with this obstacle along with the ball drop. And Roman is having a lot of trouble right now getting back onto the pole. Can he get up the head slide on his second try? Yes, he's up it. But look at the time, 48 seconds left on the clock already. He is looking in big trouble. I don't know how long it took him to beat that pole maze, but it was a hell of a long time. He's onto the jumping spider. You gotta hit that trampoline solid and get into the spider. Can Roman do it? He goes for it. He jumps. He gets a good bounce, but he comes up short. Roman is beaten by the jumping spider. Well, he started out pretty strong through the sextuple steps and ball drop, but this pole maze caused him all sorts of problems. He persevered to become only the 5th competitor to get past it so far in this tournament, but sadly, he was beaten by the next obstacle, and he becomes the first competitor this tournament to fail, the jumping spider. Much like his Halo racing career, he fails. But next up we have Nate Dogg! Another newcomer. Let's see how he does. 130 seconds, and he shoots his way onto the sextuple steps and actually lands the first step. Onto the second, onto the third, fourth. Again, not the fastest in the world, but still a pretty solid pace. And he gets through it inside 20 seconds, or just over 20 seconds. Now for the ball drop. Pushes the ball to get it rolling. And, okay. Right. Did nobody explain the rules to him? Yeah, it's a disqualification. You're out, Nate Dogg. Let's see if he can actually get into this pole maze at least. It's all for nothing. Wow. Okay, that's definitely... I mean, I have to give him props for throwing himself at the pole maze like that. Next up is I'm Old, Don't Kill Me. Aw, come on. Look, you may be old, but I'm not gonna kill you. I promise I won't kill you. The water will do it for me. Right, thank you very much. That was terrible. That brings us on to our first returning competitor of the day. This is Venom. With a load of numbers at the end. 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5. Back for his second appearance, he failed the pole maze in the last tournament. Nice helmet and nice magnum. Don't think that's going to help him on the course though. 130 seconds to complete 9 obstacles. Unless of course he wants to shoot the ball off the track, I don't think that magnum is going to do him much good. Ooh, bit of lag there. But he survives just about. Come on, Venom, you beat this obstacle in the last tournament. You can do it again. Alright, he's through it. However, he didn't beat this obstacle in the last tournament because it didn't exist. Let's see how he fares on this ball drop. Doing okay at the minute. It's rolling pretty quickly. He's coming up to the first drop, slows the ball down nicely, gets past the first drop. He's all over the place. He falls on the second one, and he falls early. Well, following Venom's failure, more competitors stepped up to the course, some getting a little further than Venom did, but generally speaking, they all failed, and all failed pretty early. Whether it was the sextuple steps, the ball drop, or the pole maze, our competitors just couldn't get to grips with all 3 of these obstacles. Failing in rather unique style of ways, it has to be said. David thought he'd done the steps before he walked off. Clever Ninjas, on his second appearance, couldn't crack the very first jump. And we had Resolute Shark, who made the mistake of trying to go down the ball drop without the ball. Co-op Dog failed getting out of the pole maze. We did have a couple of competitors, though, get to the jumping spider. Newcomers Boomshot and another Halo racer, Papa Slaunch. Both unable to get past the jumping spider. That brings us on to 40 runs now, and got some sort of shenanigans going on at the start line here. That's not going to do anything. Okay, alright, they stopped. It's over. Oh, God! Okay, next up on the course is Ninty7 Grizzlies. Back for his 3rd appearance or some shit. I mean, who knows? It's Ninty. He's got 130 seconds, I guess, to try and crawl his way around this course. Sextuple steps. He did this in the last tournament, so you know, should be alright at this obstacle, but you never know with Ninty because he sucks so much. No, he gets past the sextuple steps. It's pretty slow though, you know, could have been faster. He's onto the ball drop. If my memory serves me correctly, he sucked Wang at this obstacle on his debut 2 tournaments ago. So, can he get revenge on this obstacle this time? Probably not, but you know, it's Ninty. You never know. Oh, he's past the first drop. Oh, he's past the second drop. Interesting. He beats that as well. But, you know, he was pretty slow, so, you know. Is he holding the sniper rifle? That little slag. Yeah, you die. You die on the pole maze. What are you doing stealing my sniper rifle for? Alright, glad that's over. Now, we're on to our 41st competitor. And this one is our first returning veteran in the tournament. Next up on the course, we have Asians, back today for his second appearance on the course. Asians competed way back in Tournament 15, where on his debut, he put on a solid performance to become one of 2 newcomers to beat Stage 1 in this tournament, and one of 13 competitors to advance to the second stage. Sadly though, whilst the other newcomer, Killer the Man, reached the dizzying heights of the 3rd stage on his debut, Asians was sadly taken out by the balance tank in Stage 2. And it looked like that was going to be his one and only appearance on this course. But blast from the past, he is returned to Halo 5 for his second appearance. Can he make it 2 for 2 on this course? This course has changed quite a lot since he last took it on. Obstacles such as the rolling ball, jump hang. Even the first obstacle was different. He didn't do the sextuple steps in Tournament 15. But he is past the sextuple steps, and now he's going to take on the ball drop. He's having a lot of trouble getting this ball going. Don't punch it, don't shoot it. Okay, that's a good technique to get it going. It's cost him a lot of time though. As I said in the last episode, guys, it may be 130 seconds, but this time limit cannot be taken lightly. Whoa, that's a huge jump off of the first drop. But he pulls it off. Now he's onto the pole maze. No, he overshoots the pole. And Asians' comeback comes to an end. Let's take a look at this again because, you know, this isn't Ninty failing the obstacle. It looked like a good jump. You know, he didn't sprint into it. He just did a normal jump into it. But he jumped just a little bit too late and didn't crouch. And as a result, Asians, our first veteran in this tournament, is out on the pole maze. Well, much like a vampire after Ramadan, this course is eating our competitors alive. Does anyone have what it takes? Well, this guy looks like he's trying to be a big deal with his big gun. Maybe he's a good competitor. Oh, God. Do I have to say that? This is Ice Hiss. Yes, that's how I'm saying it. Deal with it. Ice Hiss is ready to take on the course. Yep, yes, the timer did start. Oh dear, jeez, that was close on the sextuple steps. We haven't had many failures on the sextuple steps in today's episode, but Ice Hiss came very close to failing it. Taking his time. Oh, he picked up the pace nicely though at the end. But that still took him 30 seconds to get past the first obstacle. Did he just spring jump? Is this guy learning his jumping abilities the further he gets along this course? Oh my god! That's the end of him. Now for our next competitor, who is walking in onto the start line. This is not Ice Spiteful, this is Ice Spite Fooey. The Ice Spiteful fanboy back for his second appearance. As you saw there, he failed the pole maze on his debut in the last tournament. Can this spiteful fanboy live up to his idol and beat Stage 1? It would be pretty incredible if the first competitor to beat Stage 1 was spiteful, but not spiteful at the same time. He's getting the ball rolling pretty nicely at the minute, going pretty quick, but he seems to be in complete control. He gets past the first drop, jumps off before the second drop. Now for this pole maze. Throws himself into it, lines himself up, gets up it nicely, gets up it first try, and exits nicely as well. And he spring jumps as well. 80 seconds left on the clock as he goes for the jumping spider. He jumps, and he's into it. He is a spider. This spiteful fanboy is having the run of his life at the minute. Maybe Spiteful will acknowledge his existence now. He's onto the half-pipe attack. He goes for it. He gets into the head slide, but he gets his angles wrong, and he spins into the water, and he's down and out. Ice Spike Fooey. Well, he's the first competitor so far today and one of the few competitors in the whole tournament that's made this pole maze look easy. He was the first person so far today to get to the half-pipe attack, but this new obstacle claims another competitor. He got his jump right, but he didn't get his angles right. He got into the head slide, but flew out the other side. And it's game over for Ice Spike Fooey. Now for another competitor that you might think is another fanboy with his gamer tag, but he isn't. This is HNW Superman 68, formerly known as, I believe, Emerge Zebra 68? He competed in Tournament 17, where he failed the ball drop. Missed the last tournament, but now he's back today with a new gamer tag. But I mean, you know, it'd be great if we had a Niwa emerged goat on the course or something, you know. Niwa emerged, I don't know, horse, alpaca, puma, maybe. Oh, he's on the ball drop, by the way. This is where he failed in the last tournament, but he's making it look like a piece of cake. Rolls the ball to the very end, and he gets his revenge on the ball drop. Now for the pole maze. We just saw Ice Spike Fooey get past this obstacle. Can HNW do it as well? Whoa, that is not how to do the obstacle, unless you want to do it backwards. He's having trouble here with this pole maze. The longer you take with this obstacle, the more stress there will be, especially with this time limit. And he's gonna start panicking. He panicked and he's over. It's out. He's out on the pole maze. Go back to HNW. Well, following that, 4 more competitors took on the course. But if it wasn't the sextuple steps, it was the pole maze that was taking them out. Another great gamer tag, Shake My Belly. Unable to get past it. And it now means that 48 competitors out of the 100 have taken on this course, but not a single one of them has made it past the flying chute or beaten stage 1. That leaves us with 2 competitors left to go today, but this competitor will think he has a real shot at beating stage 1 after his performance in the last tournament. He takes a shotgun to the back. I'm not sure if that's going to help him. This is Flame Vortex 03. The veteran who in the last tournament stunned everyone when he beat stage 1 for the first time. That was on his second appearance. Can he beat stage 1 again today on his third appearance? He goes down the sextuple steps and he is flying down them like a pro. 10 seconds beating the sextuple steps. That is how you do that obstacle. Will that be a good inspiration for what's to come for the rest of this run? Going down the ball drop. I'm pretty sure this is his first time taking on this obstacle. He didn't attempt it in Tournament 17. He survives the first drop. Is he going to get off? No, he survives the second drop as well, and then he gets off. That was a little bit slow, but not too bad. And he's on to the pole maze. Lines himself up. Gets up it nicely. Looking good. 85 seconds left on the clock. This is a good pace so far by Flame. But there is still a long way to go. Onto the jumping spider. He's going for it. Oh, he's going to do the Bumpé technique just like Atlantic did. Is this Bumpé technique a registered technique amongst our competitors in this tournament? He's flying through the inside of the jumping spider now. Takes a huge jump. That was very risky. Did you need to do that, Flame? He's onto the half-pipe attack. He gets it nicely. He hits the stopper to slow himself down. And he is going to be the first competitor in this episode to beat the half-pipe attack. And he's only the third person to take on the warped wall so far in this tournament. And he gets up the warped wall in 40 seconds. Flame has got a chance here. He's onto the flying chute. He's standing on top of the chute. This is a weird technique. But he makes it work. He lands the bar. He's out the other side and he's the first person to beat the flying chute. 25 seconds left on the clock. Come on, Flame. This is your chance. We are going to have our first competitor through as long as he doesn't screw up the rope ladder, which he almost did just then. But he's climbing to the top. He's going to make it. He spring jumps. The klaxon sounds. But Flame Vortex defeats the first stage with 8 seconds left on the clock. Flame Vortex 03 becomes the first competitor this tournament to beat Stage 1, and the tank guy's going crazy, joining in on the celebrations. Pretty sure it was Vulcan. But out of the flash of light comes Flame Vortex 03, and he goes into the record books as the first person in Tournament 19 to beat Stage 1. It was a solid run all the way through, a little bit slow on the ball drop, but his technique on the jumping spider worked perfectly. This jump off of the jumping spider was probably the closest he came to failing. He got past the half-pipe attack, he crucially got up the warped wall in one, and then this very weird technique on the flying chute. Never seen anyone do that before, but clearly it was the right technique, and it worked for Flame, as he is the first competitor this tournament to book his place in Stage 2. Well done, Flame Vortex 03. You'll get a second crack at the second stage. What a performance by Flame. How do you top that? Well, if there's one competitor that might be able to do it, it could just be this guy. The final competitor to take on the course today is Sauron Sucks, back today for his second appearance after making a very memorable debut performance in the last tournament. Sauron, wearing the number 18 in Tournament 18, became the first competitor to beat Stage 1 in this tournament, and thanks to his success, kept up this incredible streak of newcomer success on this course, as he powered through all of the obstacles and advanced to the second stage. Since that incredible debut run though, Sauron has really established himself in the jumping community. Not just with his performances on Halo Ninja Warrior and Spartan Sasuke, but also for helping set up the new major jumping course in Halo Jumping. I am of course talking about Aborigines Warrior, or Halo Warrior as it's now known. And it's thanks to this show, Sauron has established his rather unique and honest style of commentary.
He's been a deadly obstacle for some reason.
Oh my
what
God.
a fucking moron.
Atlantic's got a lot of talent to him. He's fucking annoying, but you know, he's got some skill, you know? Look.
The big question now is, as he returns for his second appearance on the course, can he follow up his debut performance by making it back to the second stage once again? Or will this first stage take its revenge on Sauron? Sauron Sucks, the host of Aborigines Warrior, or, you know, one half of it at least. He has done quite a lot since he made his debut on this course, but now it's time for the second attempt. Can he follow Flame into the second stage? These two were the first two competitors to beat Stage 1 in the last tournament. Of course, Sauron was the first person to do it and Flame was the second, so it'd be pretty funny if it was the other way round once again in this tournament. He's going on the ball drop though. This is his first time trying this obstacle, but he gets through it nicely. Now onto the pole maze. Apart from the half-pipe attack and the ball drop, the rest of the obstacles on this stage are the same as they were in the last tournament, albeit some of them, like this pole maze, have had modifications. But he's looking good at the minute, and he gets out the pole maze and heads for the jumping spider. That was a bit weird. It looked like he almost fell off the side of the course then. But he's back on track, and he gets into the jumping spider. He doesn't need to bumpay it. He can do it the normal way. Ooh, he's taking his time on this jump. What's he doing? Did he have to scratch his leg or something? A bit weird. But he's onto the half-pipe attack. The new obstacle for him. He goes for it. Looks like a good jump. Oh no! No, Sauron! What a fucking moron! What was that? Sauron is beaten by the half-pipe attack. What a shocker that was. What happened? He missed the head slide. I don't think he was expecting that at all. The jump looked good, but then the second jump, he was obviously turning to try and make sure he got his angles right to get into the head slide, but he must have turned a bit too much and he completely missed the head slide. He still, bizarrely, almost still made the landing platform. But Sauron Sucks, our Tournament 18 newcomer hero, is beaten by stage 1 in Tournament 19. He will not be advancing back to the second stage. Sauron is out. Before we go, guys, let's take a look at today's Ninja Killer. And surprisingly, it's actually the pole maze that's caused the most trouble today. Of the 25 competitors to have taken on the course, 14 of them have made it to this obstacle, and incredibly, 8 of them were eliminated by this obstacle, and in all kinds of unique ways, it has to be said. Whether it's failing the jump onto the pole, failing the jump into the headslide, or screwing up the jump getting out of the pole maze, this obstacle took them out in all kinds of ways. Even a former veteran in Asians was no match for this obstacle. The pole maze is today's Ninja Killer. And with that, guys, we have reached the halfway point of stage 1. 50 competitors have now stepped up to take on the course in Tournament 19. But it has been an absolute bloodbath from our competitors, with most of them going out in the first half of the course. Only 7 competitors have so far made it past the jumping spider, and in today's episode alone, only 1 person out of 25 got past the half-pipe attack. But despite just seeing Sauron fail, we do have our first man through. Flame Vortex 03 put all his training to good use to power around all of the obstacles and become the first and so far only competitor to make it to the second stage. The question is, now that we've seen it can be done, how many more will follow him? In the next episode, we're going to see more newcomers, a veteran with a point to prove in this tournament, and a first in Ninja Warrior of Halo's history. Who else will have what it takes to join Flame in the second stage? Will anyone else join Flame in the second stage? Or will this first stage wreak even more havoc on our competitors, having seen a rare success? Join us next time, guys, to find out, but until then, I hope you've enjoyed this episode. If you have, like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time. Like the Terminator, I'll be back. Until then, guys, I've been Hunt Unit 751. Ta-ta.